I just went over to the nest and put a little grain down for that poor old hen and started to turn away, when I realized all at once that something had changed. The hen wasn't sitting on the nest anymore. She was walking back and forth with a wild kind of look in her eye, and every time she came near the nest, she gave a little hop and fluttered away again. I bent down to look in the nest, and wow! There was something in there, and it was alive. It was moving around. I thought at first that it was a rat or something that had busted the egg and eaten it. But after I got a good look, I could see that it wasn't any rat. It was about the size of a squirrel, but it didn't have any hair, and its head, well, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. It didn't look like anything I'd ever seen before. It had 3 little knobs sticking out of its head, and a sort of collar up over its neck. It was a lizardy-looking critter, and it kept moving its thick tail slowly back and forth in the nest. The poor hen was looking pretty upset. I guess she hadn't expected anything like this, and neither had I. I just stood there for a minute. I was so surprised, all I could do was look. Then I started yelling and lit out across the yard as fast as I could go. When I busted into the kitchen, Mom was so startled that she dropped a saucepan in the sink. Pop came running down the stairs with lather over one side of his face and a razor in his hand, and Cynthia was right behind. "For goodness sakes," Mom said, "what's the matter with you?" "It's alive," I shouted. "It's alive! And it moves around, and it wiggles its tail, and has horns, and it looks like a lizard, and it doesn't have any fur, and the hen's running round, and it doesn't know what to do about it, and—" "Hold on there, Nate," Pop said. "You look as if you've seen a ghost. What's all the excitement about?" I was so out of breath that I couldn't talk for a while. "It's the egg," I said. "It's hatched."
The Enormous Egg is a children's comedy written in 1956, written by Oliver Butterworth and published by Little Brown Boston. The plot follows Nate Twitchell, who discovers that one of his family's hens lays an egg much larger than it should be. After waiting and worrying over a month, he discovers a dinosaur has hatched from the strange egg. Soon, scientists from all over the world visit Nate's small town to get a peek at the baby Triceratops, but the dinosaur keeps growing, and they soon have to give their dinosaur to a museum so that it can be fed and taken care of properly. Nate is very disappointed until he is given the chance to go to the museum and study there. He is allowed to leave school and bring his homework while he visits his dinosaur at the museum every day. But soon the museum is no longer safe for the dinosaur, and many people don't think a dinosaur is needed in the museum. Nate will have to go to great measures in order to save him. One of my favorite scenes takes place when Nate discovers that the people have donated thousands of dollars to keep the dinosaur. This is an exciting scene because you find out that many people care about keeping the dinosaur even though they are complete strangers to Nate. I liked this book because it was imaginative and it had a fun plot. I would recommend this book for readers ages 8 to 11 or anyone who enjoys a fun adventure.
One weekend, Jo took a trip to Manchester, a city in northern England. She was going to move there and needed a place to live. She had a long train ride back to London. She stared out the window, thinking of nothing. Suddenly, a picture of a boy popped into her head. He had round glasses and a scar shaped like a lightning bolt. Jo reached into her bag. She wanted to write down everything about him, but she didn't have a pen. She turned back to the window and thought more about the boy. He was a wizard, but he didn't know it. He lived with a family who was not his real family. They kept his magic a secret. They hoped to squash it out of him, but the boy's magic was too strong. As the train sped through the English countryside, more people crowded into Jo's head. They were people the boy knew. There was a ghost named Nearly Headless Nick, and a best friend with red hair, and a clever girl named Hermione. By the time Jo reached London, she had a whole new world in her head. One day she hoped she could write a book about it. When she got home, she found a pen and pulled out a notebook. On the first page, she wrote the name of the boy with the lightning bolt scar. His name was Harry Potter.
Who is J.K. Rowling is a 2012 biography written by Pam Pollock and Meg Belviso and published by Grosset and Dunlap. This book does a great job of telling the reader the events of J.K. Rowling's life. Some interesting things I learned were, J.K. Rowling came up with the idea of Harry Potter on a train, that she threw a battery at her sister during a fight, and that many publishers turned down her Harry Potter books, which are now some of the most well-known books in the entire world. I loved reading this book, found it fun and informative. I would recommend this book for fans of the Harry Potter books, or anyone who wants to learn more about J.K. Rowling's life, or for anyone who likes the Who Is or Who Was biography series. Slacker is a 2016 middle reader comedy published by Scholastic. The plot follows a boy named Cameron Boxer who really does anything but play video games. When his parents notice his addiction, they force him to play a sport or join a club, or they take away his precious video games, but he soon finds a way to please his parents and to avoid doing any work. His idea? Create a fake school club dedicated to helping his town. But the key part is, they don't really do any of the things they say they do. But soon, much to Cameron's surprise, his plan takes a turn when people start joining his fake club. To make matters worse, problems arise when a different group starts undoing their good deeds. The group is jealous about the new hero reputation Cameron's group is gaining with all the great service work in the town. Cam and his friends will have to fight very hard in order to save the group that they do not even want to exist in the first place. I enjoyed reading this book. I think it was funny and the plot was fast-moving and fun. I would recommend this book for fans of action comedy books or anyone who likes Gordon Corman's other books. A fact about this book is that Scholastic sent this book to me as an advance copy. Slacker will be available online in bookstores on April 26th. Lunch Money is a 2005 middle reader comedy written by Andrew Clements and published by Athenium Books for young readers. The story follows Greg Kenton, who is obsessed with making money, but many of his money-making plans are ruined by his annoying neighbor, Mara Shaw, who copies whatever he does and takes away his customers. And now Greg's scheme of writing and mass-producing comic books and selling them at school is foiled when Mara makes her own comic books. But now the two enemies must work together in order to keep selling their books when the principal bans them from selling them. With one of their teachers' help, they might be able to continue selling. I loved reading this book. I think the plot is fun and entertaining. I could not put it down. I would recommend this book for readers ages 8 to 12 or anyone who likes Andrew Clements' books or Brian Seltnick's illustrations. Poptropica, Mystery of the Map is a 2016 graphic novel written by Jack Schabbert and illustrated by Corey Merritt, and based on the Poptropica computer game co-created by Jeff Kinney, who is the author of the famous Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. The story is about Oliver, Maya, and Jorge, who are dropped out of a hot air balloon and land in a strange place called Poptropica. They soon find a magical map of Poptropica and later escape from bloodthirsty Vikings. They are able to keep the map out of the hands of an evil villain named Octavian. I loved the plot and illustrations of this book. The drawings are wildly colorful and they detail the wonderful places throughout Poptropica. The facial expressions of the illustrations are creative and well done. I would recommend it to fans of graphic novels and fans of the Poptropica game. A fun fact about this book is that I met the illustrator, Corey Merritt, and the game designer, Jeff Kinney, at the Unlikely Story bookstore in Plainville, which is actually owned by Jeff Kinney. My Cancer Days is a 2016 picture book written by Courtney Phil-Genzi and illustrated by Nicole Tatchell. The story focuses on a girl who is going through cancer. She compares her emotions to different colors. As she continues cancer treatment, new colors and feelings pop up later in the book. I really like the illustrations and I think they work very well with the theme of the book. Although this book is very short, I did enjoy reading it. I would recommend this book for children ages 5 and up and for fans of other picture books. A fun fact about this book is that I met the illustrator at a book signing at the Unlikely Story bookstore in Plainville.